Alright, Dragon Ball Super fans. Now, once again, I am glad to just be talking about anime for a change. But yeah, first off, if you haven't done so already, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe just because the channel name is the Haves and the Have-Nots Review, and a majority of my videos are Tyler Perry focused. That doesn't mean I won't sometimes, change it up a bit and talk about other franchises that I enjoy watching. I mean, I've been a Dragon Ball fan since 6th grade, so yeah, I'm ready to talk about some Broly movie action coming up in a few months here. And this is just probably maybe a 5 to 6 minute video. We'll just have to wait and see, but I just wanted to do a quick video giving my thoughts on, we don't know for sure, but it seems to be a lot of signs pointing towards a Gogeta fusion, or I guess you could say a Goku and Vegeta Minamari's fusion resulting in Gogeta during the upcoming movie, because of the fact that, I mean, it looks like base Broly, or maybe like a berserk, or I guess you could say a unrestrained base Broly is curb stomping Super Saiyan Blue, and that's not a good thing. So basically, if Goku and Vegeta were to fuse, and it's not necessarily about them fusing in this movie, but just Gogeta or Vegito in general, do you think it's possible for that fused being to utilize Ultra Instinct? I'm going to be completely honest here. There are some Dragon Ball YouTubers who say it's not possible, but I'm going to be honest. I think it is a possibility. Now, hear me out on this. A lot of the people who say they can't achieve Ultra Instinct while a fused being, I think that, they talk about how, it won't work because one half of the being doesn't know how to use Ultra Instinct while one does, so it's unbalanced. I would respectfully disagree with that, and the reason here's why. Given the fact that Dragon Ball Super has been notorious for retconning a lot of things, which I don't even have time, there is not enough time in the day to go over that, but let's just talk about fusion from Dragon Ball Z. Like, I'm talking like, from when Goku was talking with like Piccolo, Mr. Popo, Dende, and Krillin about the fusion dance and what a fused being can do. I think this was after the Majin Vegeta fight, and when Goten and Trunks were knocked out by Majin Vegeta, and Goku was talking about how they could use fusion to stop Majin Buu, and he was talking about how a fused being is someone or capable of feats that neither being can do alone. And to me, for example, Goten and Trunks saw how to use Super Saiyan 3 by Goku, but never achieved the form themselves. But then when they fused into Gotenks, they were able to utilize Super Saiyan 3. Going to Vegito, for example, and I don't think I can use this example due to the fact that I don't want to say non-canon, but it's part of the the Dragon Ball Heroes franchise, so it's kind of its own canon. So let's just talk about that. For example, this probably is a bad example because Dragon Ball Heroes is notorious for giving a bunch of characters forms and power-ups that make no sense. But more recently, in episode 3 of Super Dragon Ball Heroes, the promotional anime, if you will, for the Super Dragon Ball Heroes franchise, we saw Super Saiyan Blue Vegito utilizing the Kaioken. And the question is, for example, I know that Kaioken and Ultra Instinct are two different things, but in a way the principles are sort of the same, because in Dragon Ball Z, it was really talked about how the Kaioken is all about ki control, using it at the right time, utilizing your body and ki as one. And I think in Dragon Ball Super, Goku talked about this when he used the Kaioken Blue against Hit, about how he couldn't use it with his regular Super Saiyan forms, but with the Super Saiyan Blue state, it was all about a calm mind and perfect control between ki and body and, emotion, hence why he was able to handle a Kaioken Super Saiyan Blue combination. Super Saiyan Blue, if that's the definition of it, then Vegeta obviously knows about that control as well, because he's also a Super Saiyan Blue. But he doesn't know how, and I'm sorry, it's literally, remember, we're in the middle of Hurricane Florence here, so it's windy outside. So if you hear a bunch of like roaring in the background, it's the wind outside my window. But he doesn't know how to use the Kaioken. Vegeta doesn't know how to use Kaioken. Here's how I always chalked it up as. when people fuse together, they're one being. So the thoughts and, you know, whatnot of one being, of each individual being becomes the thoughts and whatnot of the new being itself. Like Goku and Vegeta become one, whether they're Vegeta or Gogeta. And I think even more so when it's the fusion dance. Like, don't get me wrong, like, yeah, the Potara fusion is stronger than the fusion dance, but I feel like the fusion dance requires far more coordination, not just because of the obvious, it's not just two people putting on earrings and then instantly fusing, but it's two people having to synchronize their steps, align their breathing, I believe Piccolo did a great description, like your thoughts, think the same thought, breathe in the same rhythm, and then your power levels have to be exactly the same. And I feel like that's more synchronized than just putting on two earrings, where somebody with a power level of 500 fuses with somebody with a power level of 20 million. Obviously, there's going to be some imbalance there. But when it comes down to Goku and Vegeta fusing, and, you know, the rival boost, I really don't want to talk about that because, you know, that depends on what dub. But more so when I think of fusion, I think of the two beings becoming one. And as Goku put it, a being who is capable of feats that neither being could achieve alone. I mean, so the Kaioken Blue Vegito, and here's another example. Vegito uses instant transmission. Vegeta doesn't know how to do that. Vegito used the Big Bang attack. Goku doesn't know how to do that. I'm not saying that he couldn't, but I'm just saying that. So Super Saiyan 3, for example, wait. I don't think we've ever had a canon Super Saiyan 3 Gogeta or Vegito, but going back to my Gotenks example, I feel like it is safe to say that Vegito could definitely go Super Saiyan 3, not counting video games, because in Super Dragon Ball Heroes he does do that. But, or was that Dragon Ball Heroes? I know that Vegito does use Super Saiyan 3. I know that was like when he and Beat, I think that's the name of the Avatar character, fought with the South Kai Absorb Kid Buu. I know he used it, but yeah, I feel like Ultra Instinct, even though Vegeta doesn't know how to do it, could be something that Vegito or Gogeta is able to utilize. Because here's how I think of it. I think it's possible, and this might sound weird, but if you're a Pokemon fan, you could follow me on this one, especially if you watch the anime. Remember Paul and then Ash's Chimchar, which eventually evolved into Infernape? It was a Pokemon that had the Blaze ability, but for some reason its Blaze was far more powerful than a normal fire type's Blaze attack. I mean, like, for example, when Paul used Chimchar to fight Rourke in the first gym in Sinnoh, it utilized Blaze, but it looked more like a stable and controlled version of the Blaze ability. Basically like, oh, it's obvious, you know, it has the red outline, it powers up its fire moves, but it's not like destroying things and going out of control like a raging monkey. But then you move on to when I think the first time it used the out of control of Blaze was in that episode Chimchar, where Chimchar was in Ash's possession and it was fighting Paul's Ursaring, and then it freaked out, and then, you know, it was like going eight ship. Look, it's like 5 a.m. I'm tired. 8 shit crazy and like destroying the forest and whatnot. And then we get to you know, when he evolved to a Monferno, it utilized Blaze again. When it got very crazy, then he evolved to Infernape. Then when Ash went to the 8th gym, and from there was able to have Infernape control Blaze somehow. What I'm trying to get at is the fact that Blaze in Pokemon is an ability that's only utilized when the Pokemon with the ability has like 1/3 of its health left. Basically, it's low on energy, it's backed into a corner, but then it unlocks a power boost. That's kind of how Goku described Ultra Instinct at the end of the series when Vegeta was asking, what's wrong, Kakarot? Can't you use Ultra Instinct anymore? He's like, no, I think I only stepped into that realm of power by accident because I was backed into a corner, which he was. He was hit by his own Spirit Bomb, and then Kefla almost eliminated him. Then Jiren almost eliminated him. When he was backed into a corner, that's when that power shone. It wasn't until he mastered Ultra Instinct, and mastered is a very interesting phrase here because he eventually fizzled out due to his body. That was a very bad writing thing. I don't want to get into that. So basically, he's not able to use Ultra Instinct at will due to the fact he was only able to utilize it when he was backed into a corner like Blaze. But it wasn't until he truly understood how to fight and defend without thinking, which led to him mastering Ultra Instinct. But then he wasn't able to activate the form afterwards because he was only back into it. Yeah, it doesn't make sense when you talk about it. But Chimchar, well, Infernape mastering Blaze was, you know, because of his friendship with Ash. But at the same time, kind of like Ultra Instinct mastered. Well, in a way, it does make sense because even though Infernape was able to master Blaze, for example, when he fought in the finale of the Sinnoh League, well, Ash's battle with Paul, that wasn't the last match, but it was Electivire versus Infernape. If Infernape had full mastery over Blaze, it would have been able to use Blaze at the start of the battle and win the fight. But no, Infernape had to take a great deal of damage, and then when it looked like it was about to lose, boom, Blaze, full effect, apeshit crazy, turning the entire stadium red with flames. Meaning that even though it had a control over its overpowered Blaze ability, it could still only be activated when it had 1/3 of its health left, or low HP. Because in the anime, we don't have health bars, ladies and gentlemen. So the same thing with Ultra Instinct. I guess the main question is this. If Goku was pushed to the limit by Broly, like I'm not saying Ultra Instinct is going to be in the movie. Let me just make that clear. I'm just using this example. If Goku was pushed to the limit by Broly, like pushed into a corner or 1/3 of his HP, if he were to unlock Ultra Instinct again, here's a question. Would it be the mastered version of Ultra Instinct, or would it be Ultra Instinct Omen? I think that's an important question here, kind of like Infernape. When it gets low on HP, when it utilizes Blaze, it can control the Blaze, and it's highly overpowered. So with Ultra Instinct, would it be the same thing? Like if Goku got knocked out and he unlocked Ultra Instinct once again, would it be the mastered version or would it be the Omen version? I think that's a good, we need that question answered before I can truly make that comparison to say Goku's Ultra Instinct is definitely like Infernape's Blaze. So if you're on a Pokemon fan, first of all, you need to watch the Diamond and Pearl series, one of the best anime arcs of Pokemon, regardless of what anyone else says. But when it comes down to the actual use of Ultra Instinct and Fusion, I'm going to be completely honest here. I think a fused being could definitely unlock Ultra Instinct at a whim as opposed to being backed into a corner. Maybe the first time Gogeta uses it or Vegito uses it, it may need to be, you know, that being pushed into a corner because maybe Vegeta is slowing it down due to the fact that he doesn't know how to use Ultra Instinct. Here's my thing, and this is another important factor. I think this was really hinted on when Vegeta was charging up the final flash against Jiren before he reached Super Saiyan Blue evolution, but when he was just regular Super Saiyan Blue. And he talked about Kakarot can have his Ultra Instinct. I'll fight you in my own way. My pride is something that I can never cast aside. And I feel like it's not that Vegeta doesn't want or can obtain Ultra Instinct. It's that he's very self-aware of himself. It's like, look, bump that ego, pride, that's who the hell I am. I'm going to fight you my own way. If anything, I feel like Vegeta is more focused on finding his own way of, I mean, he even said it, finding his own way to stop Jiren, because you know what, if Kakarot has Ultra Instinct, screw that, I'm doing this my way. It's kind of like Super Saiyan 3. I mean, the argument could be made that Vegeta just doesn't use Super Saiyan 3 because he's a smart warrior and knows that it has more drawbacks than benefits. So that's probably why he doesn't go Super Saiyan 3. So with Ultra Instinct, I just feel like it's like the Superman thing where he was growing up. He put the mental blocks on himself to, you know, to have better control over his power, because he knows if he walks around like at full strength all the time, he will wreck stuff. So what was it called? Like power limiting dampeners on his brain. Kind of like Vegeta is self-placed inhibitors so he can't use Ultra Instinct. But I feel like if he was fused with Goku, yeah, it's kind of, and just a side note of fusion, I always thought this was weird. Like, once again, this is just my headcanon, I guess, if you will. Like when Vegito and Goku were fused into like Vegito, I mean, don't you think it's possible that when they merged as one being, that Vegeta, and when they split, Vegeta was aware of how to use Super Saiyan 3 because he shared a mind and body with Goku, but he just chose not to do it. And here's just an example of that. Remember during the Cell arc, you know, after Gohan and Goku come out of the hyperbolic time chamber as full power Super Saiyans, and Vegeta even sensed half of Goku's power when he powered up for Korin and freaked out. I always wondered to myself, why did it, and I think Trunks went back into the time chamber a second time by himself, just like Vegeta did. If they saw the results of Goku and Gohan's power and they went back into the hyperbolic time chamber themselves, why not master the Super Saiyan forms just like they did? To me, I thought that was just a pride thing. Like Vegeta, it's almost like, you know, Goku handed him the answers to the test because he took it before him, but Vegeta, with his pride, it refused to accept it. So he's like, screw this, I'm going to power up my own way. And it doesn't end up working because even during the fight with Cell, Goku and Cell are going at it, but then Vegeta's just like, you know what, he's stronger than I am, so screw it. That's kind of how I feel about him with Super Saiyan 3. He had the answers while he was fused with Goku, but he refused to look at him. And with Ultra Instinct, it's like he saw how Goku did it in a way, but chose to do his own thing, hence why he was able to unlock Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. So honestly, this video is almost 3 times as long as I thought it would be. But to be honest, I feel like if Goku and Vegeta fused, even with Vegeta not knowing how to obtain Ultra Instinct, and it could be argued that Goku himself doesn't know how to do it because he clearly told Vegeta, I don't know how to do it because I needed to be back into a corner. I feel like if they were to fuse, Ultra Instinct is a possibility. Now the question once again is, would it be something that Vegeta or Gogeta could just like instantly turn on at the drop of a dime? Like they could just easily utilize Ultra Instinct like the flip of a switch, just like they do going Super Saiyan? Or for the first time doing it, would, you know, they need to be beaten up or pushed into a corner by their opponent, and then it emerges, and would, I think it would be the master version. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you feel like Goku and Vegeta fused would be able to utilize Ultra Instinct despite Vegeta not being able to achieve the form itself? So if you like these kind of videos, let me know in the comment section below. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and who knows, we might actually see this Ultra Instinct Gogeta in the upcoming Broly film.